Thanks for choosing ABC 15 at 5. I'm Katie Ramble.
And I'm Steve Irvin. Our top story tonight, we're learning more about that Valley teen charged with terrorism for contacting ISIS. It's a story you saw first on ABC 15.
Law enforcement, including the FBI, just providing an update to address this matter. ABC 15's John Treeweiler was there. He joins us live with more now. John?
Yeah, guys, Sheriff Penzone and the FBI in charge of the Phoenix Field Division really explaining in more detail here kind of what happened that night, kind of walking us through this chain of events, saying that individual, that suspect they now have in custody and was shot by the Maricopa County deputy, started making some terroristic statements, even just on a 911 call to a dispatcher, demanding to speak with a deputy. Then when he got in front of that deputy, continued to make some of those terroristic statements, this even developing into some kind of a chase outside in that parking lot of the Sheriff's Office substation in Fountain Hills. The FBI and the Sheriff's Office not making any comment on this investigation, which they say is ongoing here, but they did tell us, the FBI says they believe this individual to be what they would call a homegrown violent extremist, that he acted alone and that he had every intent to kill that sheriff's deputy. Let's listen to some of what Sheriff Penzone had to say.
Our dispatchers and our 911 operators received 2 calls from an individual who was requesting to speak with one of our deputies. The calls were somewhat cryptic regarding his need, but he was very, very adamant about the fact that he wanted to meet with the deputy in person. And he made some statements during that call to indicate that he had an affiliation with a terror ideology. One of our deputies who was in the district at that time went out to his car initially to review the call and was approached by the subject. He was later identified as Ismail Hamid. He attempted to determine the needs of this individual, and shortly after the engagement, that subject began to throw rocks at our deputy and then pulled out a knife and advanced on him aggressively. As our deputy pulled his firearm and continued to retreat to try to get distance from the subject continued to advance, basically chasing him partially around his own vehicle.
And again, the sheriff is saying that he believes this individual had every intent to kill his deputy. That deputy went ahead and, as we know, shot the suspect, stopping this threat. The suspect is still in custody for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, facing several charges. 2 of those are terrorism charges under Arizona statute. No word from the FBI if federal charges, terrorism charges, will be filed. We'll just have to wait and see, as they say this investigation is still ongoing. We do know that individual has a court case or a court hearing set for tomorrow at about 1:30 as of right now. The FBI and the sheriff also asking that the public stay vigilant. They be aware of people if they start to make any changes or do anything. Like they always say, if you see something, say something. We're live in downtown Phoenix today. We'll, of course, keep you updated. I'm John Treeweiler, ABC 15, Arizona.
It's certainly evidence that attacks like this can happen just about anywhere. Thank you, John.